Hi guys, so today I wanted to share with you our thoughts on the Gather Round curriculum. We did two of them are two different subjects. So the way that Gather Round works is it isn't all-in-one. All you do is add in math. So it has all your other subjects, your science, your history, all that. So we did transportation and earth science for the summer, and we just finished because we took some time off during the summer too. So each one is 20 lessons, so a lesson a day. And I thought it would be great to try because I thought it would just be a good change for the summer. And if it did work out, then we would maybe do some more, you know, in the future. A few things I should know. It was a very religious company, and I thought, like, I had heard from other people that there is, like, you know, you got to do Bible verses and stuff like that, but you could just take it out. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, we just won't do that because we're not very religious, so I didn't think it was really worth putting them in. And I was like, oh, well, the earth science will be perfect. Okay, first off, yes, you can take it out, but then I felt like the lesson, then there was like you had to add to the lesson. And then I felt that some days there was so much to do that one day, and yet the next day there was like nothing to do. So I felt like it wasn't very even. And I also felt like language arts wise, it wasn't that great. Like it didn't really work on punctuation that much. I must say the transportation, they both kind of had some like writing lessons, but they were very sporadic. And I just was not a huge fan of that. So I personally wouldn't do it again. I did ask the kids because at the end of it, the last day you have some questions to ask, and it was, you know, what was your favorite part about the, you know, all the lessons in that one. And I asked the kids, I was like, would you want to do this again? I said, we've now done two of them. So, and they're like, no, it wasn't. It was like some of the lessons they really enjoyed, then others they didn't. And I don't blame them. That's kind of how I felt too. So I definitely personally would not do it again, at least not at this age. Maybe in middle school or high school it would be great, because my other thought or my other concern was is at the beginning, you know, at the beginning of the lesson, you read, you know, the parent or teacher, I should say, reads, you know, about the lesson. So there's like 3, maybe 4 pages that you read about whatever you're going to learn. Like, you know, today was climate control or climate change. I felt like some of them, especially for the earth science one, the language was too much for elementary school kids. Now, I know it's supposed to be so that you could have a kindergartner and a high schooler and you can do the same curriculum for all of them. Obviously, the preschooler, you know, each kid has, depending on their grade, has different worksheets, but the teacher still has to read the same thing. And it felt like it was too advanced for elementary school kids. The wording, like everything, it was too much. Like the one today, holy numbers was it throwing at you, and it just, sorry if you can hear me as she's in the bed above me right now. It was too much. And I even had my husband look at a few of them because I'm like, I feel like maybe this is just too much. Like I'm getting overwhelmed reading it. Like I can't, and they're getting bored. And ooh, hello. And so my husband even looked at it and he was like, no, he's like, this is too much. So I was having to modify, not only if there was like, oh, hold on, I don't want you to drop it. Not only was I modifying it if there was like religious parts in it that I needed to take out or not talk about, but there was also too much language for the kids to understand. And so I really didn't like that. It's just not something I would do again. Now, I know there are some people who love Gather Round and that's the only thing they use. And then I've heard from people who feel the same way I do. And it's just, it was one of those, I wanted to try it out. I had heard, you know, the good and the bad about it. So I just really wanted to try it out. And you may enjoy that. Hold on. Okay, hold on a second.
Mommy.
Sorry, she needed to tell me a story. So that's how I felt. I personally want to do it again, at least at this age. I would definitely wait until they were older. And yeah, I might just pick different subjects that I didn't feel were, I don't know, that it wouldn't be involved with religion so much. Like the earth science, I should have seen that one coming because it was like how the earth was created. And of course it did both things. So you kind of had to piecemeal it. What, honey? Hi, baby. But yeah, and then other things, it was, you know, there was a lot of science experiments, which were great. My kids love that kind of stuff. So that part they really liked. But I also felt like some of the lessons, they would throw in something random, like kind of just like a filler, and it like had really nothing to do with what you were learning. So it kind of made no sense. So for me, I just wasn't a huge fan. I wish they could have had like a ICU. I wish they could have modified it. Like if you were not religious, you should use this part of it. I wish they could have just separated it better. But that's it. You know, that's my opinion. So I personally would not do the gather around again, especially not for little kids. I felt like there was too much for them to have to absorb. And even I was overwhelmed. So definitely not something we'll do again. But, you know, I feel like as a homeschooler, what I've learned over, you know, the year we've been doing it now is you got to learn what's best for you and your kids. Like and it could change every year. What worked last year might not work this year. And what works this year might not work next year. So it's kind of, you know, and everybody is fine for like 20 minutes and then I come to sit down. But yeah, so it's just, I think varies. And this is one I can chop up to say that, you know, I was not a huge fan and I definitely won't be doing again, at least for a while. Maybe they'll change it. But for me, definitely just not one I would do again.